Hello guys, it is your boy Dordak 3002, and today I am going to teach you how to use Warhammer 40k infantry effectively by breaking them into categories and showing you how they work. First class of infantry I would like to talk about are objective infantry. Objective infantry are the type of infantry who are used to secure objectives and score points. Many players get frustrated when playing because they just don't know how to use objective infantry correctly. Probably one of the best examples of objective infantry would be intercessors. With objective control 2 per guy, they're great. They can also sticky objectives, and with 24 inches of range, they should be decent at shooting. But these are not units that you want to necessarily have fight big hordes, like a 20-man orc squad. 5 intercessors would absolutely be defeated. That's because these are not damage dealing in themselves units. They are, man, I really messed up painting that guy's eye. But they are really used for controlling objectives, and that's what they're going to be the best at, because that's what they were intended to do. Another kind of objective control unit is a Ripper Swarm. A lot of Tyranid players will use these to score secondaries and primaries. The reason that they're so useful is because they're cheap. They will sit on your home objective for the whole game. They will deep strike behind your opponent and score you those secondaries. Unlike intercessors, who are mainly just going to be probably carried around on a Land Raider, hop from objective to objective, play sticky, maybe be left to defend, but at the end of the day, they are not going to do much damage because they are objective control units. A good way to use objective control units is right after your stormtroopers, which is what I will cover in the next session. Next category. After the stormtroopers engage and kind of do their thing, you want to send these guys in almost immediately after to secure objectives. Also, always move these guys into objectives. Objective control units are not supposed to be protected. They're not like your pride and honor strong units who you want to have survive the whole game. These are units you should throw at objectives in order to score you points, unlike another class of infantry, which we will talk about later. This next subgroup I call stormtroopers. The reason I call them stormtroopers is because you want to have these immediately take objectives. A strong start leads to a strong game, and that's very important. So I'll just start over here first. Leapers. I'll put him here too. The combi weapon. I'm not sure if he has infiltrate, but I know these guys do. So any unit with infiltrate can be used to put either immediate pressure on your opponents, or be used to immediately put a foothold on an objective. Like As an example, leapers, because they have fight first, could be placed close to your opponent's spawn. But there is risk doing that because you will probably be shot at. But if you go first, you are putting immediate pressure on your opponent and forcing them back into the hole that is their deployment zone. Keeping your opponent in their deployment zone is a really good way to win. Because if they're in their deployment zone, they're not in the field and they're not on objectives. He's good because I believe he has deep strike and infiltrate. So infiltrators get on objectives. Similar to objective control units, these guys are not meant to live long, except for Terminators. Terminators, I put them inside the Stormtrooper category because of the teleport homer. If you put it in the right location and it doesn't get destroyed, you can move these people or these units really fast. And this is a brick unit, especially if you have 10 Terminators in a single squad. It is a brick unit that will be very resource intensive for your opponent to get rid of. Another kind of stormtroopers are fast units. These units, like gargoyles, Tyranid primes, and I think a really good example of them are orc Defcoptas. That one's missing a propeller. They work so well because they're so fast. If you put units like this at the start of an army, a good Space Marine alternative would be jump pack, intercessors, most vehicles. I know we're not talking about vehicles, but vehicles with units inside of them should be put at the front of an army. Then anything with a jump pack really could be used. Yeah, they're just get on them an objective. No one expects stormtroopers to really live that long, and that's fine. They don't need to, because by the time your stormtroopers are dealt with, you should have brought up the brunt of your army. This should not be the devastating blow. It should be like an opening of a wound that will eventually slow your opponent down enough to where you can defeat them properly. A good strategy to use when using infantry is taking good, tanky, shooty guys. You will not win games without touching your opponent's army or doing some damage. A great example of this would be Primaris Aggressors, as they are super good at killing lots of stuff, not so great about killing big stuff, but they're a really good unit, especially in a squad of 6. And with these guys, you really have to pick your targets, though. Like, these guys shooting into a Death Dread would not dent its armor. Compared to a squad of 20 orc boys, it would completely wipe off the board. These should be used shortly after stormtroopers. Another very good example is the Infernus Marine. If you take a squad of 10 of these, put them in a Land Raider, send them to the front, they will kill stuff. Not particularly tanky stuff, because that is not their area. A good anti-tank unit that I would also put in this category but do not own because they look stupid are Desolation Marines. No, wait, not Desolation Marines. The guys with stupid rocket launchers on their guns. Those guys would fit the role that these and these do not. yeah, that's basically all about damage dealers. I would maybe put Terminators in this category, but they're more hit hard, hit fast, last, be annoying for the whole game, or deep strike and stab your opponent in their back. Not exactly in the same category as my precious little creatures, the Desolation. I don't know what these guys are called. I think they're called aggressors. They're called something. Tanky, fat guys. Yeah. My final category, I will be covering swarms. Swarm units, first up, I'll cover the termagants, are kind of like objective control units, as in you don't care if a swarm really lives or dies because you just have enough units. They're like a between on. I wouldn't put them in the same category as objective control units, but these units will be capturing objectives if you use them correctly. Because these are just flexible squads of 10 to 20 units that you can throw at your opponent to keep them tied up while your army scores points. These score you secondaries. These are your backbone. And swarms differ from swarm to swarm. Like guard. I only have 3 here because I don't want to get all 10. But guard will definitely not charge into stuff that is weak or strong. Like a Terminator squad being charged by guardsmen is lore accurate guardsman deaths. Orcs, however, if you get a squad of 20 orcs, all choppa boys, charge them into Terminators, they have a fighting chance. It's not going to be a complete waste. And then Tyranids, Termagants. You just took them for the endless multitude. They do have strength 5, which is pretty crazy. So they're good shooting units, and you can take a lot of them for cheap. So that's swarm units, and I'm kind of thinking that this is the end. I didn't really have a script. But yeah, those are all something amount of categories of infantry and how to properly use them in a game of 40K. Also, yeah, do your secondaries.